By the next morning, word had spread faster than wildfire. Every local news outlet had the footage. Karen shouting about her authority, the forged documents, even the fake safety notices. The neighborhood Facebook page, once her private echo chamber, had turned into a wall of fury. People she'd bullied for years were coming forward with stories, fines for the color of their mailboxes, threats over Christmas lights, and anonymous letters that were all written in the same tone only Karen could master. The HOA office was sealed off by police tape, and for the first time in a decade, the community was quiet, peaceful. But I wasn't celebrating yet. I had a feeling this ran deeper than just Karen. When the sheriff called me in, my suspicion was confirmed. He dropped a folder on the desk and slid it toward me. Inside were wire transfers. Hundreds of thousands of dollars moved through dummy accounts, ending in one company name, Wilcox Development Group. Karen hadn't been enforcing rules. She'd been running a full-blown land grab operation, planning to flip the entire subdivision to a luxury builder. And those safety violations? Her excuse to force people out faster. The sheriff leaned back. "Your video opened the door, Blake. She's going away for a long time, but the state's digging into her partners now. You might see a few more rats scatter." I nodded. They picked the wrong nest this time. A week later, the HOA was officially dissolved. The neighborhood voted to self-manage, and every fine Karen had issued was overturned. Kids rode their bikes again, front yards were open, and the fear that used to hang in the air just disappeared. I stood on my porch that evening watching the sunset paint the sky orange over the rooftops. My daughter tugged at my sleeve. "Dad, does this mean the bad lady's gone?" I smiled, kneeling beside her. "Yeah, sweetheart, she's gone. And this time, for good." Just then, my phone buzzed with a message from the sheriff. Karen pled guilty. 12 years, no parole. I took a deep breath and looked out over the land that was finally ours again. Funny, I muttered to myself. She spent years telling us what we couldn't do. Turns out she was the one who lost everything.
Karen's smirk vanished the second she saw the red light blinking on my phone. She lunged forward, trying to grab it, but I sidestepped and bolted through the back door of the storage shed. Her flashlight beam sliced through the night, bouncing across the tall grass as her goons chased after me. My boots pounded against the dirt road, phone still recording every second. I reached my truck, jumped in, and locked the doors just as one of them slammed a fist against the window. "Give us the phone, Blake!" he shouted. "Call the cops," I yelled back. "The real ones!" I floored it down the narrow lane leading to the main road. My hand shook as I hit dial, not 911, but a direct number to a friend who worked in the county sheriff's office. "Blake, it's past midnight. I've got recorded proof," I cut in. "Fraud, impersonation, maybe racketeering. HOA's running a fake redevelopment scheme. Send it, now." I emailed him the video straight from my dashboard. A minute later, my phone buzzed again. "Got it," he said. "And Blake, you might want to stay put. The sheriff's already had complaints about your HOA. You just gave us the missing piece." By dawn, the street was crawling with flashing lights. Real deputies this time, not Karen's hired muscle. She was pacing her porch in a robe, trying to act like she was the victim. "They broke into my property," she shouted as the officers approached. "Ma'am," one deputy said flatly, "you forged city documents and locked families out of their homes. You're under arrest." Her mouth fell open. "What? No, this is a misunderstanding. I was protecting the neighborhood." I stood across the street, arms crossed as they cuffed her. She glared at me like she could burn me alive with her stare. "You'll regret this, Blake. You think they'll side with you? You're just one man." I stepped forward, cutting her off. One man with the truth beats a dozen fake badges any day. Her face twisted in rage, but the deputy shoved her into the car before she could spit another lie. As the crowd gathered, neighbors came up to me, some in tears, others just shaking their heads. One man whispered, "We thought you moved here for peace, not war." I smiled faintly. Sometimes peace needs a little backup. Viral line of the section, "She built her power on fear. I tore it down with proof."
That night I couldn't sleep. The air outside buzzed with tension. engines idling, walkie-talkies crackling, and Karen's voice echoing from the cul-de-sac like she owned the moonlight. I sat at my desk replaying the footage I'd taken earlier, zooming in on the official notice she'd slapped on my door. The header said, State Safety Compliance Authority, but at the bottom corner, under the fine print, was a logo so small it looked hand-drawn. HOA Zone 4 Redevelopment Initiative. Redevelopment? That word hit me hard. I opened my email and searched through the HOA archives from years back, the ones they thought I didn't keep. And there it was, a proposal Karen had drafted 3 years ago, asking the city for permission to repurpose underperforming properties for a private investor group. It had been rejected then, but it looked like she'd revived it in secret. I drove to the old community storage shed by the park, where HOA records were supposedly archived. The lock was new, but I wasn't about to quit. I still had the master key from when I served as HOA treasurer before Karen's little coup. Inside, it smelled like mold and betrayal. Piles of boxes stacked high, stamped with confidential. I found one labeled Project Bluefield. Inside were blueprints showing half our neighborhood shaded in red, slated for demolition. The names of the investors? Hidden behind initials. But one name was clear at the bottom, K. Wilcox, Managing Agent. Before I could take a photo, headlights flashed through the window. Someone had followed me. The door creaked open and Karen stepped in, flashlight in hand. "You really should have stayed quiet, Blake," she said, her smile thin as a knife. I stood frozen. "This is illegal, Karen. You're forging city documents and scamming homeowners." She chuckled, lowering her flashlight just enough for me to see the 2 enforcers behind her. "Illegal," she said softly. "You don't understand. This neighborhood's mine now." I kept my phone recording behind my back, heart pounding so loud I thought they'd hear it. She moved closer, whispering, "Tomorrow morning, every one of you will be gone, and by the time the city notices, the land will already be sold." I stared at her and said, "Unless someone shows them tonight." Her eyes widened as I raised my phone. "Smile for the real HOA audit."
The first time I realized something was seriously wrong with our HOA was when I found a bright orange sticker on my front door that said, "Unsafe dwelling, immediate evacuation required." There hadn't been a storm, no fire, no inspection, nothing. Just that sticker, and a note that said I had 24 hours to vacate or face fines up to $25,000 per week. I thought it was a prank, until I saw every other house on the street plastered with the same notice. The HOA president, Karen Wilcox, stood in the middle of the road, clipboard in hand, barking orders like a general. She was flanked by 2 men in reflective vests with Community Enforcement Unit printed on the back. The problem? There was no such thing. When I asked her what was going on, she gave me that fake smile she'd perfected. "Oh, don't panic. The HOA is just conducting safety evaluations. You'll all be back in your homes once we've cleared the necessary fees." "Fees?" I repeated. "You mean bribes." Her expression hardened. "Watch your tone, Mr. Blake. Non-compliance will be treated as obstruction." I laughed out loud. "Obstruction of what? Your fantasy police department?" She turned away sharply, motioning to one of the officers. "Document that. He's being hostile." That's when I realized this wasn't just about power. It was about money. A lot of it. By sundown, Karen and her crew had padlocked 2 homes. Families stood in the street holding bags of clothes, kids crying. The so-called HOA enforcers refused to explain who authorized any of it. Something snapped in me then. I grabbed my phone and started recording. "This is illegal," I said loudly. "You're trespassing and impersonating a public officer." One of the men lunged toward me, but I stepped back, camera steady. "Go ahead," I said. "Touch me and you'll meet real cops, not your HOA buddies." The man froze. Karen hissed, "Turn that off now!"
Not a chance, I said. You just declared war on the wrong homeowner. And just like that, the crowd started pulling out their phones too. One by one, shutters clicked and cameras rolled. Karen's fake authority began to crumble under the light of exposure. But what none of us knew yet, what I was about to uncover, was that the HOA's stunt wasn't random. It was part of something much bigger.